welcome to Showbuzz. I'm Gloria Pryor, your host, and I have with me today Michael Povar from Spectral Communications, and he is the president of Spectral Communications. Now, Michael, first of all, I want to thank you for coming out and joining me today, but I've heard some rumors about you, and the rumors are calling you a video paparazzi. What of this? Is this the truth?
No, I'm not a video paparazzi at all.
You don't stake out celebrities behind cars in restaurants, curbside?
Once in a while, but mostly we shoot a lot of the major events in town.
Okay.
And a lot of people know that we shoot these events, and we actually sell these clips to people throughout the world.
Here's one for you. Nick myself. Need a neck tourniquet. Hi.
What do you think of shows
It's
like...
really coming out, isn't it? I'm bleeding to death here. You don't care.
Am I up for anything? Yes.
What is it?
Best performance by an overweight actor.
Does she have a certain charisma?
Yes, she does.
What is it? What do you think it is?
It's charisma.
How would you describe it?
Very charismatic.
What other silly questions you got for me? You got another dumb question?
She's the most beautiful, gorgeous, talented Italian woman alive. Italian woman, I said Italian woman. Give me that.
And I will be doing a couple of little bits and pieces. And hopefully we'll be fondled from the rear by Brogan Lane. Oh, there you are.
Oh, here I am.
Just like at a bar mitzvah, take the flowers.
Especially for this. So did you. No, I did. Mine's growing. Oh. To winning as a director, a producer.
Had script to read pretty early on, and the opening shot.
To me, what the film...
We're still in the middle of it, and I get self-conscious.
Oh. Actually, I don't know. It was carefully placed. You got it?
Right here. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Ready?
For some reason, I don't feel really uncomfortable fluffing myself in public now. I've seen all the top celebrities just patting their hair and wiping lipstick off their face. Where do you get some of this? This was wonderful.
A lot of these clips are done throughout the years, and it takes a lot of time to put that reel together because you never know when it's going to happen.
Oh. Nick Collins has joined us with VidCom Post-Production. He's the senior special effects editor, and we're very happy to have you with us, Nick.
Thank you.
Interesting background you've got. My goodness. He's a world traveler, one of the forerunners in video post-production here in Los Angeles.
In the past years, the swimsuit was little more than two pieces of fabric sewn together and then supported by the attributes of the woman who wore it. This season, swimwear uses comfortable stretch fabrics combined with padding and foundation to create a swimsuit that takes an active role in shaping a more pleasing form.
$1,000 an hour.
That stuff there you saw is the high end. It ranges from anywhere from $200 an hour to $1,000 plus an hour.
God.
This is high end stuff.
Are you interested in directing or producing? Do you see any of that coming up?
Yeah. Well, as far as writing, I mean, I think I'll probably write storylines and ideas, because I have a lot of good ideas, but I don't have the patience to actually sit down and write a script,
right.
you know. At this point in my life, I don't know, maybe one day, but right now I like writing lyrics, I like writing music.
Oh, wonderful.
I write, you know, lyrics because I believe there's so much stuff out there on the radios that's meaningless, and so I like putting stuff out there with a message.
Yes.
And as far as film, I come up with a lot of concepts and a lot of ideas, and really, when I'm doing films, I mean, I pretty much improv, you know, a good 50% of my lines anyway. It's usually mostly my stuff that I just kind of put into it, you know, or I'll come up with ideas on the set or that kind of thing. But as far as sitting down with a computer or a pen and paper and writing, I just don't have the patience, you know.
Or how does he find the time? I mean, this guy goes from one project right into the next. As we're speaking now, we're going to look a little bit later on in the show show at Meatballs #4, which is another film that you've recently completed. Again, Showbuzz is getting you basically a preview on this because it's not open and out to the public yet, but you'll be able to see a little bit more of this guy in action with that. Corey, I wanted to ask you now, you've actually formed a music production company, is that right?
That's right, Choreography Music.
That's a cute name.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Great stuff. And some of your own lyrics and music.
That's right, yeah. I write the lyrics and probably about 50% of the music, and then produce it as well. And so right now I'm working on stuff for an album.
Oh, that's
I did have songs in the film Rock and Roll High School Forever, which I wrote and produced. I had 2 songs which I wrote and produced, and I performed 4 in the film.
Okay, great. Oh, that's neat. Now, any of your songs in Meatballs?
Nope. No. I was thinking about putting them in there, but it didn't work out. So.
Let me give a hint to producers and directors out there. You want this talented young gentleman in your film, maybe ask him about getting some music in the film, too.
That's right.
We should show more of his talents out there, not only the acting on screen, but some of the music beds with the film, too. Why not do that?
It's a good dangling the carrot kind of device.
Yeah, yeah. I am very proud to have with me tonight an international TV and film star. You're going to recognize him. His nickname is Ninja from his illustrious past.
Yes,
his name is Sho Kasugi. And Sho, welcome to Showbuzz.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank you.
You've been a busy guy lately here with lots of new productions underway.
Yes.
The one in particular that hopefully you've been able to catch. If you haven't, you must look this up, Shogun Maeda.
That's correct, yes.
Now, I want to ask you, these boats, I'm just very curious, are any of them docked here in Los Angeles, or what happened afterwards?
No.
Do
Well,
you sell them, or is it a...
Well, we couldn't sell it. Actually, we blew up.
Oh, you blew it up?
Yes, we did that.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Now, was that a requirement, or...?
It's no requirement. We tried to put in in the film, but we couldn't do it.
Huh.
It wasn't so effective as much as we expected, you know.
Right.
So forget about whole boat and
just blew it up.
Blew it up.
Oh gosh,
Yes,
that must
I
have
know.
been sad though to
Those
see
$3
that.
million bucks.
Yeah, really, a $3 million boat.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Hollywood
I wish I had that
wasteful,
money.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. And the costumes that you wore, we've got some photos, of course, to show you of these things, along with a really nice clip from the film.
Yes.
The costumes, you had 45 costume changes.
Yes, I did.
Gosh, and I thought I was fickle running through my closet.
Well, I had been the president of the Motion Picture Council here for 11 years, and I resigned because I wanted to form an international group.
Showbuzz was on the scene at the great premiere of Hook, and we were able to speak with Robin Williams. I'd like you to take a quick peek at this little Hook clip that we have for you, and stay tuned because we'll be right back after this. Robin? Robin, was this really a fantasy part for you, a dream come true to do?
It was amazing to do.
Just relating to kids, because you're such a kid. You've got such a kid inside.
The way you hold that out, it's all right. You can do it. Yes, take anything you want.
No, but you're fascinating, because every time I watch you, it's like watching a little
Just
boy
because I
with
have
all
fun.
his dreams.
Just because if it isn't fun, it isn't enjoyable.
It's got to be fun.
Yeah, it's just I have fun. Even someone said even doing something like Awakenings. Yes, there's something it's like a learning experience with that. But yeah, it's
Opened you up to all these new experiences.
yeah, and you could look at the world like a child that way. Thanks.
That's the best way to do it.
Boy, I
Can you
feel
give me a
7.
message for 1992.
Remember, always take care of the casualties of the kinder, gentler nation. There are a lot out there. Wise up.
One quick moment. How hard was it preparing for this character? Did you have to feel like you were in the fairy tale?
No, now is the fairy tale.
Now is the fairy tale. How was it working with Robin Williams for the first time?
Great to work with her. I just didn't have to raise it.
Ah! That would have been a challenge. When you're making a film, sometimes very special circumstances need to be arranged for. If you're running across the freeway or doing some wild chase scene, streets need to be blocked off, and special considerations have to be made for that. Now, those things can usually be handled by the local film commissioners, but sometimes when they're very complicated, you have to go to the higher powers that be for these things. For instance, Joel Silver, who's a well-known producer that most of you are probably aware of, had on occasion made a phone call to Mr. Ira Goldman. Ira is the special assistant to our governor of California, Pete Wilson. And Ira works in the film capacity with Governor Wilson, also in a few other capacities in Sacramento, California, the headquarters of the office and also the capital of our state of California. Now, when a producer calls you with a problem or concern like Mr. Silver did, he wanted to close off, what, 3 freeways?
3 interchanges all in one day.
Goodness, and you know, that's our traffic here in LA. Of course they didn't want to approve that here locally. They said, we better go right to the governor's office.
Well, it wasn't only closing the freeway, it was also blowing up a car next to the freeway to make sure that then we wouldn't have gawkers and people driving off the road when they saw an explosion by the side of the road. So it got rather complicated, and as you said, 99% of the time the film commission, the state film commissioner, local film commissioner can deal with that problem. Occasionally it's an interagency problem. It takes a little extra attention, a little bit more difficult, and at that point I was called in to negotiate a little bit between the parties, and we were able to get things to work out well, and it was part of the movie The Last Boy Scout.
I make my living as a comedian right now, and you know, acting work is when you can get it. So, you know, if I
good work when you can get it.
Yeah, you know, if you get a series or something like that, of course you do that because it's, you know, it's steady and it's a lot more money. But,
not a little bit,
yeah,
but a lot more money.
Yeah. And then you never have to work again. But Marlon Brando, of course, is one of my favorite actors of all time.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I don't normally do talk shows, Gloria, but I feel like coming on your show and talking about, you know, I wanted to be an Indian, so I could have gone,
but anyway, that's just a joke.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
great.
Marlon, just kidding. Just kidding.
I'll get all sorts of cards and letters now.
And of course, Jack Nicholson is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, I love Nicholson. Oh, this is scary. Get a close-up on this face. They've got to see this.
Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? That was my Jack. Here's Johnny.
I want more Jack. Give me some more Jack.
Well,
or go with give me some more Jack.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Gloria, I've just about had all the Jack I can stand.
Hello and welcome to Showbuzz. We are on the scene with Mr. Ted Chirac. What we're doing here is we're finding out the true story about the Robert Kennedy assassination. Now, as you know, recently there was a film out, JFK, that talked about that assassination with Oliver Stone. Now, this film that will be coming up shortly is a totally different matter entirely. We are talking to the founding father of the Robert Kennedy assassination research. Mr. Ted Chirac is an investigative journalist. He's a broadcast reporter, extensive background in this industry, and extensive effort has been put into the Robert Kennedy assassination. Now, there's a second story that you probably have not heard, but you will hear it if you stick with us here on Showbuzz, because Ted's going to fill us in on the whole information. You were actually there at the scene of the assassination.
Yes, I certainly was, Gloria. And it was an event that I'll never forget as long as I live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Showbuzz. I'm your host and producer, Gloria Pryor, and I am very pleased to have with me today Arthur Schweitzer. Arthur is the president of Cinevest Entertainment. He's responsible for all sorts of, I would like to say, international relations between filmmakers here in the U.S. and in London and in Russia and several other places actually around the world. Arthur is one of the people that's helped to bridge the gap between filmmakers, especially in the USSR and here in America, even before the coup last year. He was over there doing some filming and working with filmmakers there. Arthur, it's so nice to have you with us on Showbuzz today.
Thank you, Gloria. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. I first came to notice you folks with a film called Red Mob. Now, some of the special effects in Red Mob were done over there in Russia on location, but doing it here in the U.S. wouldn't have been as feasible, both economically and just because of all the codes and the permits and things. I heard a story about the helicopters of the film. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that. That was real interesting.
Well, it's a bit amusing, but when we used helicopter gunships for attack scenes where we actually had to explode a helicopter gunship, these helicopters were costing, actually in hard currency, $500. Now, if we went to buy a helicopter gunship here in the U.S., we could not afford a lug nut for the wheel of a helicopter gunship for $500 here.
Yeah, helicopters are what, like 100,000 or?
They're $500,000.
Oh, are they that expensive? Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
So they are very expensive.
Oh, goodness. And these helicopters that you got in Russia, you paid $500 for?
For actual working helicopters.
Oh, goodness.
And I have to say, since the Afghan War and the production output of the Soviet Union, there's a tremendous amount of military equipment around. The military is selling it to the public at times, not arms, but vehicles.
Like all your RVs and all the, like the big tanks and things, not missiles.
Not tanks,
yeah.
but armored vehicles are sold.
And the
often.
Jeeps and all that kind of stuff.
The first time I was in Moscow, I was feeling a little bit strange because I kept seeing so many military vehicles going by, Jeeps and
in
trucks
camouflage?
And
are they all like,
they're
okay.
all painted green and ready. It looked like the city was, ready for a military movement. But
Yeah.
yet, if you looked inside the trucks and you looked inside the Jeeps, you saw all of the Russian people there.
Just well-dressed, ready to go out for Sunday dinner or
going
something?
out for a Sunday drive in their military vehicles.
Oh. Welcome to Showbuzz. I'm Gloria Pryor, your host, and tonight I've got some really interesting guests for you. I don't really want to let the cat out of the bag, but I do have some surprise celebrities for you tonight too, so stay with us and you're going to see a lot of interesting things. First off, I'd like to introduce Bryan Stoller. Bryan is an independent producer, director, writer, actor. He's done some cameos in some films and TV, and most recently he surprised us with just a fabulous piece. It's a bunch of little skits and kind of fun spoofs on Hollywood and the Hollywood community. Tell us a little bit about your project here.
Well, Gloria, the project is called Undershorts, A Brief Movie.
Undershorts.
Undershorts. I always have to explain the title because people want, undershorts. So what's this guy talking about? It definitely catches people's attention. Mm-hmm. Undershorts is actually a term for short comedy films.
Oh, okay.
Undershorts. And the film is very much in the vein of Hollywood Shuffle, Kentucky Fried Movie, Amazon Women on the Moon. It consists of 26 comedy shorts, spoofing everything from famous people to famous movies, TV shows, that whole thing. The picture stars two life-size puppets that resemble Siskel and Ebert.
Oh.
And they're locked in a haunted laundromat, forced to watch these comedy shorts called Undershorts on the window of a spin dryer. So it's kind of a wacky film, and it was a lot of fun to do. It was financed by Paramount Pictures.
Great.
And it should be coming out on well, we're hoping it'll be coming out on home video very soon. It's sort of, we're still doing some post on it and waiting to see what's going to happen with it.
Okay, now like usual, Showbuzz always gives you the information and gives you the inside story before it really happens. So let's take a little look at Undershorts, A Brief Movie, and see Bryan Stoller in work here.
Maybe they should just view another clip.
I'll agree with that.
Any idea why this is happening to your daughter?
No. Maybe it's hereditary.
Boy, I just flew in from Vegas, and boy, are my arms tired.
In the darkness of the night, doing
away with his wit and sarcasm.
My mother-in-law is so ugly. How ugly is she?
Rabbi Herring.
She's so ugly, she has to sneak up on the mirror to shave.
Don't answer his setup lines.
I'm sorry.
Rabbi!
I'm okay.
In the name of tragedy, we cast you out!
In the name of tragedy, we cast you out!
In the name of tragedy, we cast you out!
Wasn't even funny.
Get him off! Get him off! Oh, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you for bringing my little girl back to me.
If only I would have heard you correctly when you telephoned. Exorcism? I thought you said circumcision.
That was a true example.
Okay, now I know that you're spoofing on a lot of famous celebrities here, but that did look like Linda Blair.
It was Linda Blair.
Both has the adult and has the little girl?
She played the mother and the daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, she, it's funny, originally when I wrote it, I was actually casting little girls that looked like Linda Blair, and then Rick Reynolds, who was the co-producer on the picture with me, said that he knew a friend of Linda's and he had worked with her. So he said, well, maybe I can arrange a dinner meeting with Linda. So we met with Linda, and we had storyboards done up, and I charmed her as much as I could, I guess. And she thought the idea was very, very funny, and she was trying to keep away from the Exorcist image that she has. She liked the concept enough that she wanted to do it. And she's very good at comedy, and she's great to work with. She's a real sweetheart. And we had a lot of fun with it. And
that's neat.
Yeah, that actual piece we shot in '88 or '89, I think it was, and the elements were assembled to put it together into a feature format. So we did it quite a few years ago.
How long was the development on this project? I mean, you wrote it over the period of, what, a year or so, or longer?
Yeah, well, actually...
your actual scripting, you know, in all the different shorts.
It took about 6 months, I think, to actually pre-produce or produce the picture and, you know, shooting it.
That's good.
Yeah, but I started doing the comedy shorts back in 1983, 84. So we took several shorts that I had done prior to the Paramount movie. We shot about 10 new shorts.
Oh,
and then we did the wraparounds with the Siskel and Ebert puppets. And you have another guest here tonight that I worked with actually many, many years ago. Great gentleman, actually.
Before he was quite so famous.
Yes, yes.
Let's take another peek of another short, from another brief short.
Okay, this may be, if I'm correct, I think this might be, now I'm not an actor. I know you sort of, acting, that's why I'm behind the camera.
Right, he's writer, director, producer. I mean, this guy's got a lot of credits.
But I do cameos. I mean, Hitchcock did cameos. So,
yeah.
You know, I mean...
Although he doesn't hide very well in his films because he's such a big guy.
He's a big guy, yeah. Well, I've done cameos where you sometimes only see my hands or my feet. This one time, though, I was on camera playing myself, telling the studio I couldn't do a particular project. And I was so nervous, it took me 7 takes to do it, but...
This is real-life Hollywood, guys. This is what it's all about right here. Bryan Stoller playing himself for the most part.
For the most part.
Let's take a look at that, the undershore.
And so, meanwhile, back at the producer's office, he argues with the studio that the special effects for the next scene are far too complicated and expensive for his limited budget.
I can't do a Canadian werewolf in Hollywood. It's impossible.
I've exhausted my resources. There is no... Something crazy keeps me going up the dark. Blood is pounding in my head and in my heart. I just gotta stay in the moonlight and run. Like someone shot us with my gun. I won't do it, but it's got to be a night shoot.
You said you were playing yourself after midnight or what?
After midnight, yeah.
Look at that hair, my God. I mean, you've got some facial hair now, but compared to that, that's...
Well, I shave every morning. It takes me about 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Now, you heard it first here on Showbuzz, and it's coming directly from the source, so this is not a rumor. I mean, Bryan Stoller is telling us himself that He needs to shave 2 hours every morning, otherwise he looks like that.
I'll do your next show after the full moon.
Oh,
How
great,
about
yeah,
that?
Howl at the Moon together.
Yes.
Oh, goodness,
Yes.
that's wonderful stuff. Now, let me ask you, Bryan, I know that this is not your first comedy, and it's also not your first, film that you've directed. You've done some other things, actually won an award for one of your pictures, Tales from the Dark Side?
Oh, I did a Tales from the Dark Side a few years ago with Mark Blankfield. And people that are familiar with comedy may recognize him. He used to be on a show called Fridays, which was sort of a spin-off of Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I guess his most famous character was the pharmacist. Very talented individual. He just did a Mel Brooks show, and I think it had to do with a hotel or something. Harvey Korman was in the show, Cloris Leachman, and actually it was in '87, '88. It was the highest rated show of the season, which was kind of exciting to learn that.
That really is.
Yeah.
That really is.
Yeah.
See, it takes a while to get to the point where you can actually write, direct, produce, and do a cameo in your own feature. But, working throughout Hollywood and working on some other people and co-venturing on their projects, you might be able to get there. I know it takes a whole lot of talent to do that, a whole lot of persistence, a whole lot of drive. I think our guest today has that. Let's see a little bit more of this genius in action if we can. Okay. Take another look.
I think I hear another shortcoming.
Let's see some hustle on the warm-up. It's Friday the 13th. That gives us just 2 weeks before we meet Camp Summerskate, all right?
They were just a bunch of kids at hockey camp, happily skating a summer day until they met a goalie.
Coach, we don't want to play with that goalie.
Yeah, he's too big. He's too old. He's got a knife. But if we all work together, we can beat him. It's only a game.
Okay, guys, you can all get up now. After all, it's only a movie.
We do a lot of testing for safety. Look at this film here of a driver hitting a brick wall at 20 miles an hour. You want to see it at 100? Let's play the film fast. The great thing about a brick wall is you can use them over and over again. What did we learn from all of this testing and filming and watching and bashing and crashing? Don't let mannequins drive. Make them take the bus and hitchhike. He fell down.
You didn't tell me you had friends in such influential places. You didn't tell me. I think the camera should take a look and see who's on Bryan's right-hand side here. Got a special surprise guest, you know. Here in Hollywood, you just never know who's going to come wandering into the studio. I mean, here we are taping. Here's a little action going on and just drops in. How you doing?
Fine, how are you? I had no idea you were going to show that.
Well, we're friends. I knew you'd accept it. You know.
Caught you sneaking into a limo and...
Yeah, we did that a long time ago. It was like in '83. We did that.
2 years ago.
It was a lot of fun.
2 years ago, yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing it.
Weren't quite as infamous at that point, huh?
Yeah.
The years have been good to you. Gosh, lots of great things going on.
Oh, yeah.
The talent just keeps improving, too.
Yeah, that was little Brandon Adams that was in that, too, which is...
the little guy?
Yeah, he's in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Right.
and Batter, the spoof on Batter.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you've taught him some moves, huh?
Yeah, he's very talented guy, very talented.
Very talented little guy. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, gosh, I am very glad to have you here with us. Now, I heard perhaps when you come out, you know, and visit like this, sometimes you bring us some footage from other appearances that you've done, and we're going to see some of your dance moves, some of that in-action routine going on? That'd be great. Great. Okay. You're going to have to wait just a few minutes for that. We're going to surprise you with some more from this gentleman here. He's always up to something great, as you know, one of the most notable people here in town. Absolutely. Let's take one more look at another undershort and see what you got. What's this last one you got for us
This last one, if I've got it queued up in my head correctly, is it's a cross between Back to the Future and the Federal Express commercials.
Okay, so it's a fast forward. Gone into the future quickly.
It's my version of if I had my own delivery service. This is the kind of service that I would have.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Where's the birdcage?
Mr. McFlighty runs a small birdcage company. His clients are located all over the world and they need their cages.
I'm leaving just as soon as I finish my lunch.
We'd have been here 3 days ago, but we ran out of gas after we hit the train.
Then Mr. McFlighty found out about Second Chance Express.
Hello? Second Chance Express?
Where's the package? When did it have to be there?
No problem.
Second Chance Express. When it had to be there yesterday.
Hey, that is really cool. Excellent. So I can't wait to see the whole thing. Now, how long is the whole picture itself?
The picture's about 80 minutes.
Okay, so a little under an hour and a half, typical, release.
Maybe shooting a couple
Atypical
more.
subject matter,
Yeah.
atypical comedy, but
Right,
typical
right,
length for a feature film. That's wonderful stuff, Bryan.
Thank you.
I love that. Well, as you know, the Showbuzz Buzzmobile is always out on the road looking to find you some good, funny bits and some interesting characters to talk to. As I mentioned before, we have another celebrity that we're going to take a little look at right here. And I think you're going to know this gentleman. He's always out there on the Hollywood scene. He's also got a new TV show that he's been doing. His name is Sam Kinison, and he's always up to something interesting. Let's take a look at him on a random Friday night and see what he does in his off time. Here we are with Sam Kinison and a couple of his beautiful, beautiful companions for the evening.
My lovely girlfriend for 5 years, Malika, and this is, of course, our very special friend, Cha.
Yes, those are quite exotic names. What was it again?
Charisse.
That's what Charisse. Those in North call her Cha. Those who want to be scratched call her Cha-Cha.
Oh, cha-cha-cha, with a little music accompaniment.
I can do the cha-cha.
Charisse?
Malika.
Malika.
Yes.
Yeah, this should be set to music.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Sam, I have to ask you because I know you're a party animal. I can see that. It's evidenced here by your bookends, but...
There's worse lives and we're not living them, so...
Yes, that's right, that's right. This is a brand new theater here in Hollywood.
Yeah, and if any town needed another theater, this is the town.
I think so, and the timing...
There's a theater shortage that I was worried about, and now thanks to the general cinemas, that there's enough theaters in Hollywood, I think now.
That's right. It seems like we're getting kind of a renovation in Hollywood with the El Capitan across the street.
Oh, the El Capitan's cool. This is great. I mean, now you can come to like the same area, because I always like the Chinese too. So now that they're all right here, it's perfect. because it's not far from my house.
That's right. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like there's a shortage of nightclubs here in Hollywood proper, Hollywood itself?
Nightclubs? Well, not that I know. I haven't seen them all. Hard to believe as it is. But yeah, there's always a party scene in this town. You know, you've got it. Without dropping names, just like at any given night, there's a party somewhere in this town.
But being from New York originally and really checking out the scene there until all hours of the wee morning, where do you go to kind of chase the moon?
Well, it depends. National television. Well, the Rainbow Bar and Grill. If you want to be surrounded by the human catalog.
Yeah.
I call it the carnival. I call it the carnival of souls. We get a back table and we just watch people parade around. And so every kind of person in Hollywood you can imagine is there. It's great. It's great, from stars to wannabes to addicts to dancers to
You didn't take us up there, did you?
has-been rockers. No.
No, I know.
No.
Oh, goodness.
But it's a great party scene. But I can't do that too much anymore because I have my television show and I'm part of family entertainment. And we don't want those Pee-wee type scandals, we just want to behave.
Yeah, tell us what you think of the Pee-wee scandal, and was it really a scandal pulled on him? If he wasn't such a public figure, would we have even heard about this if he was just a regular guy?
Yeah, but see, he's the host of a children's show, and there's a moral responsibility. Like if it had been me, there would have been no scandal. They would have went, hey, it's Sam. Hi, Sam. All right, sorry. We're here looking for a children's show. Oh, so might be doing something wrong, but you're okay.
Oh, goodness.
But I'm not on a lunchbox. People expect things from Pee-wee. If I was on a lunchbox, it would have a flask and a road map in it, so kids could get drunk and run away from home. So that's why they don't do that with me.
So you're admitting that you're possibly a bad role model for some of the younger generation.
Of course. I'm not Mr. Rogers.
Oh,
but they did chase you today for your
I know. Little kids like the new show that I have. So.
They do.
I'm doing this new show for Fox called Charlie Hoover, and it's getting an audience with children because I think they think it's like Shining Time Station or something, because I'm only 12 inches tall. And but the credit's good. The credit is Sam Kinison as the 12-inch guy, so I like that.
Oh, no. 12 inches. Now, that's a big claim.
Well, they called me up and said, would you like to play this role? And I went, well, of course. And then when I went up, of course, they wanted me to play a 12-inch guy. So I was like, a little disappointed. But anyway.
And now he's learned to live with it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about the show.
It's a lot of fun. I play Tim Matheson plays Charlie Hoover. I play the little voice inside his head, and I run around and make his life.
A little subconscious.
Yeah, I'm just a blatant honesty that's constantly in his face, and it makes for some pretty good comedy, and it's a palatable version of me. I've crossed over actually into family entertainment. There's a joke about a year ago. I was going, family entertainment, and I had women taking me out on stage by leashes, and now it's actually like family entertainment, so it's kind of fun.
Has this tamed the beast inside you, or what about your stand-up career? Are you going to continue in that realm?
The stand-up career is the same. I'm just hoping that the show will give me this Red Fox thing that he had with Sanford and Son, where it was his character, but people went to a show knowing it was going to be an adult show.
Right.
I don't want to end up like Red Fox. I want to stop just short of, working that last scene.
About 12 inches short of it.
About 12 inches shorter than Red.
That's a comfortable margin.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it was a Friday night. What can I say? Getting a little loose and kicking it back with Sam Kinison and a couple of his lovely lady friends there. Sam was wearing the dark glasses, and our other guest here is wearing dark glasses. I want to tell you something. Celebrities do not always wear dark glasses, but sometimes they get so stalked and so chased after especially by the girls. Well, when you look like this guy, catch a full shot of this guy. Look at this outfit. Come on. So when you look like that, things are going to happen. I'd like to ask you if you can remove your glasses so we can see your beautiful eyes.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
He's a little on the shy side.
Lights are bright, aren't they?
Yeah.
Here, can I borrow those?
If we have had you fooled for the last 10, 15 minutes as to the identity of our special guest today, it's for good reason, because he is one of the top impersonators in the world. This man is very highly acclaimed for his excellent celebrity impersonations of, if you can't guess it, I'm going to just have to tell you, he impersonates Michael Jackson, of course. Casanova.
Thank you for that compliment.
We're glad to have you here with with us. Thank you. Hey, how did you start with this? I know that you were just a teenager, really, when you started professionally, but when did you first start watching Michael or admiring him?
I've been liking him all my life. And my mom started me when I was 2 years old, watching the Jackson 5 cartoons.
Yeah, now Michael was a little bit older then. He was, what, like 6 or 8 or something?
Probably about that time.
Okay.
No, he was older. He got to be like 11 or 12 or
Oh,
something
11,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. And some friends of mine in '83 started telling me I look a lot like Michael Jackson a little bit before that. And, the look-alike craze came along and different things like that. And, I practiced and pursued it and always wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
I always wanted to entertain or do something like that. And I worked at it hard, and I work hard to be the best at what I do.
And he is the best.
Definitely, definitely. God, I bet you've had some interesting experiences, too. I mean, can you even go out in these Hollywood nightclubs and without being swarmed?
Well, not really. A lot of times, even when I'm played down, more so, people say things or, are you Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? I don't have to really try to look like him. I guess either you look like him or you don't.
Exactly.
A friend of mine we went to the bank the other day on Wilshire, and when we turned around the lobby, the entire lobby was packed just the other day. Obviously, someone had made a phone call. People that came down from upstairs, from across the street, the entire lobby was packed. Wow. And I'm getting ready to go to Paris, France, and I'm scared because I know they're going to go crazy.
Yeah, unless he's got a bodyguard there with him.
Well, I'll have security, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why E. Casanova is so effective in what he does is that he absolutely looks like him physically, sounds like him, and he can move like the man himself. Now, we've got some footage here that I want you to take a look at because, boy, if you could pick up these dance steps, you'd be possibly as hot as this guy on the dance floor. Let's take a look. E. Casanova has Michael Jackson. That's going to roust any couch potato, I got to tell you. It's like, oh my goodness, what a lively show we've had here. Unreal. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, you guys, what is this today? What is going on here?
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You all I ever wanted.
My Michael, you bring your friends, your entourage with
This
you.
is the guy that caused the havoc with me the other day on Wilshire.
Okay, so you guys were together,
Yeah, we were
right?
together.
Okay, Michael Jackson, right, which is really E. Casanova.
Right.
And then Malcolm
Lagarde.
posing as, of course, Lionel Richie.
And I'm not
My
really
goodness.
Bryan Stoller.
And you're not Bryan Stoller. He is not, no. Oh, this is great, you guys.
Really put this back on.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, we can hold it. I can hold it. That's cool.
Okay, so now occasionally you guys get on these gigs where you go out and do these deals, doing impersonations. Do you ever work exactly for the artists? I mean, to help,
Well, he
like,
has a lot.
divert crowds and things?
He has a lot, yeah.
Worked with Lionel before, and
I worked just on the Remember the Time video with Mike. I was his photo double on that.
Oh, yeah, of course you'd be his
I've
photo
been
double.
doing this for almost 10 years now, and he a long time too, so we're like professional.
I would like to thank Lionel and his family for giving me the opportunity to, be what he is now.
Oh, that's great.
So thank you, Lionel.
That's great. I want to thank all of you for coming out and making Showbuzz just a fabulous, fun evening tonight. This is just wonderful. Once again, special thanks to Bryan Stoller, writer, director, producer, and our Michael Jackson lookalike, which is E. Casanova, and Malcolm here, who is lookalike for Lionel Richie. If you want to get in contact with us at Showbuzz, please drop us a line at Showbuzz, P.O. Box 15324, Beverly Hills, California, 90209. And the telephone number is 213-850-8701. Thanks for being with us.